Good morning, everybody. It's the Saints Man, small van driver on the CX. It's Sunday the 6th. Yeah, 6th of March. This is looking back over the whole week because I didn't do on Wednesday. I started to do one during the day. I was waiting for a job and jobs were pinging up and it was just didn't get it. And I was only 5 minutes into doing one and job pinged up and it sort of put and it was like, no, stop. And then Wednesday night I was busy anyway. We got something on, so when it got to Thursday, I thought I might as well wait till the end of the week. So, my fuel prices for last week, they went up dramatically from the week before. The cheapest fuel, including VAT, I'll do it, well, yeah, it's 124.39 plus VAT is 149.26. That was the cheapest fuel card I had, 149. The other two, that was a UK one, the BP and the BP UK one were 152. So 149, which is just mad. Week before, let's get back on my little book, I was getting it for 145. So it's up fourpence. So, and I got my fuel prices for next week, which I'll come to at the end. But, wow. So, we start Monday. Hadn't got a job booked in. Nothing was booked in. It took a while to pick a job up. I picked a job up about 9:15. There was not a lot about, and I got a job. I've had a week of London, to be honest, and I should learn my lesson. I know, and I'll come on to that as well. But we started off. We did Wellingborough pick up to North London, and it was well north as well. It was just down the bottom of the motorway. I get good mileage going to London, but there's a reason for that because you can't bloody well get out. So you have to drop your price if you want to get out normally. But it was good money, and it was a job, and it weren't too far away, and it was a reel. It was literally just a reel, electrical reel. They were a hire company was sending down there, and it was to builders who were on site in a residential, 64 quid, which was pretty good, £1 a mile. Just about £1 a mile on that one. But I parked just up the road. It's hard to park in London without thinking, oh, I'm going to get nicked. I've had it before. A few weeks ago, I didn't park actually. I was in Greenwich Village. Digressing, but this is quite important. And I pulled up Greenwich Village to meet some electricians on site. I was there at 7:30 in the morning. They should have been there at 7:30. They wasn't. Didn't get there till 7:45. I phoned them. They said we're on our way. And the other building site says you just have to wait, mate. Wait there. You know. And I thought, yep. Sat in the van. Guys turned up 7:45. Signed my ticket. Off I goes, thinking everything's all right. I got a parking ticket for £100. Pay 65 if you pay straight away, or it's £100 if you don't. I'd only been there. I hadn't even been out of the van. And my wife jumped on that. She says, you can't do that. Told her what had happened, that I wasn't even out of the van. I was waiting for electricians. I come down from Mansfield the night before to my house and then moved it on. And we appealed it and got away with it. They sent a letter back saying it's been cancelled. So it might be worth appealing it, guys. If you're in London and you're a courier, you're doing important work. I hadn't even parked. I was sat. There was nothing. There was no one parked. I wasn't blocking anyone. Got away with it. Anyway, back. So, parking in London, I'll get a bit jittery about because you don't know where to bloody park. You don't know where the cameras are. They're everywhere. But I parked somewhere out the way. I was further north. I thought I'll go back to Brent Cross, which is my favourite spot. I wasn't far away from Brent Cross. Didn't actually make Brent Cross because I was in traffic, stuck in traffic, and a job come through from Enfield. 3 drops. One in Enfield, one in Woodford Green, one in Letchworth. I knew exactly what it was. It was car parts. I've done it before out of Enfield. It's okay. It's good money. And it gets you out of London. I was quite close. I was only about 7 miles from it. 6 miles. And the job altogether was only 40 odd miles. It was about 55 miles altogether, all in. I quoted 52 on it. I thought that'll get me just under £1 a mile, and it gets me to Letchworth. So that's out of London, going north, nearer home. And it was picking up at 12:30. And I was there. It took me right up until 12:30 to get across. And it took me 45 minutes to do the 6 miles, 7 miles, because it's just London. Yep, and it was 3 garages. 4 garages, actually, but 2 of them are on the same site. Exactly the same goods in. They shared a goods in. So it's 3 garages to Letchworth. I just took my time. I just thought, well, this is what it is. This is what it is. If I get a job from Letchworth home, I'll be on 140, 150 for the day. It's an easy day. It's Monday. That's what I'll do. But also my auntie, who's been pretty poorly, who was in hospital, she had a week's respite. And son and daughter, the closest respite home for a week, while they adapted her house for her, they've bought extra chairs and stuff in. She had to go in respite to try and get the pain sorted. The hospital sort of discharging her. Was in Luton. Well, I was in Letchworth, and I visited her on the Friday before, and it's not nice. It's boring. Bless her. She was coming home Tuesday, so I thought, you know what, I'll knock it on the head. I was 12 miles away from Luton, where she was, so I'm in Letchworth. I delivered Letchworth. I got her a newspaper, got her some chocolate, and got her some water. Went over to Luton, and I thought, if I don't get anything out of Luton, I'm going to stay with my auntie for an hour or two. And she was really pleased to see me. Another COVID test. I'm sick of doing them. Every time you go in respites or anything like that, COVID test, passed again. Yeah. So I went and visited her for a couple of hours on Monday afternoon, and I got home about 6 o'clock. Something like that. It was about 6:15. I could have been home 2 hours earlier. There wasn't many jobs. I kept my feed on vibrate, and I was looking at it while I was with my auntie. There weren't nothing going my way anyway, so it wasn't brilliant. So I thought, well, that's it. Knock it on the head, come home. As I pulled into my drive, a job popped up from Rushden, picking up at 7:30 that night. 2 drops the next morning, London and Canterbury. So I thought, So I had a look at it, I had a look at the map. The one in London was smack in the middle of the congestion zone, not the ULEZ, it was congestion, right in the middle. And one was Canterbury, which obviously further on. But the jobs were split into 2 jobs. There was 2 of them. There was come up as 2 jobs. So I quoted on the Canterbury one, and I quoted just Canterbury. From my house to Canterbury, I quoted 115, which I got. He said, yep, can you do that for us? I said, yep, that's no problem. And I thought to myself, well, I'll quote on the London one if you want. Same company, same pickup from. And then he phoned me. I was in the house because I ain't got to pick up until 7:30. I was in the house having a cup of tea. And the phone went, he phoned me. He says, Dave, do you want to do the other one as well? Do that one as well. He says, because that one you can be there at 7. I said, yes. I said, I was going to give you a ring actually to see you want to do it. And he says, well, watch it. I said, well, the only thing actually in congestion, there's 15 quid congestion. He says, yeah, that's fine. He says, if I do both, he says, do you want to do 80 quid on that one and 115 on the other one? And I went, yeah, that's fine. I thought, even knocking off 15 quid, it's 180 quid. Mileage is good. It is London. It is a bloody nuisance getting out. But I went, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that for you. So I went and picked the two up, and it was 2 packets really, 1 for each. And I got the address in the congestion. I thought if I can get in there, and it was 7 o'clock, between 7 and 7:15 in the morning. So I get there. So that was Monday. I went and picked them up from Rushden, brought them home, and I was home. So Monday I only did 210 miles. That included going to Rushden and back for the job next day. If you took the 2 hours off that I was with my auntie, I only worked about 6.5 hours all in. But it's a good job because I only got 116 quid, so it was pretty poor. Mileage was poor, 55 pence, something like that. Nothing special. But I got a good start for the next day. So, next day, Tuesday, I left home. at 5:15 to get to London, for central London. And I got into central London 7 o'clock on the dot to this place. It was a big office, sort of very plush, but it was on a road, and I could park because there was builders working the other side. And they'd cordoned the lane off, and I could go in there. So I went, knocked on the door, no one in. Great, but on a notelet, I'd got a contact detail. So I phoned the number, 7 o'clock, lady answered, said, yep, it's me you're actually delivering it to. She says, but I'm not going to be in for about another hour. She said, but that's not a problem. It should fit through the letterbox. There's a big letterbox. She said, if you can put it through the letterbox, that'll be fine. And I'm happy with that. I said, as long as you're happy, I'll sign it and I'll tell the office what's happened. So she says, yeah, if there's any problems, tell them to phone me. So I thought, brilliant. So I put it through the letterbox, took 2 photos. One of it in the letterbox with the number of the address, and then one of it showing, I put the camera right at the letterbox showing it had gone through, and I shut the letterbox. So all good. So I left there and then on to Canterbury. Still pain getting out of London. It took me through the Blackwall Tunnel, out that way, and then picked up the Canterbury Road. And the other one was delivery between 9 and 9:30. And I got there at 9:20. And it was in the middle of nowhere, in a village just outside Canterbury. And it was for a lady again. Went to knock on the door. It was an old farmhouse, although it was on the main, not the main road, it was on a road in a village. And no one in. Same again, the note was on there with a customer. So it was chucking it down the road by now. So I phoned the customer up. Exactly the same as the one before. She's not going to be there for 2 hours. Could you just put it round the back? And she showed me exactly where, and I knew it was her house. She's exactly where, and she got a safe place to put it. I took a photo. I said, as long as you're happy with that. She said, yep. And I says, I'll inform my office. And I said, if they want, they'll perhaps give you a ring if they need to. She says, yeah, if there's any problems, tell them to ring me. I'm not happy with what you've done with it. So that was that. Well, I phoned the office who I was working for, told him he was over the moon. I sent him the 4 photos anyway, so he could see where they'd been dropped, and he was happy. So that was all good. Canterbury, done. I know Canterbury a little bit. We've been on a couple of city breaks there. The cathedral's gorgeous. Gorgeous cathedral. The old town, in their walls, lovely. This was all on the outer wall. There's Canterbury Cricket Club there just up the road, up the hill on the right. And we've stopped in Canterbury twice. The Falstaff Inn, does that ring a bell? But nice. And we've done a bit of walking around there. And I've done a couple of jobs there. And I know there's a Morrison's quite nearby, so I went and parked in there and waited for a job. And I thought I can be really picky here because I'm already on. I was on 195 quid. Take off 15 quid. I was already on 175, so I was happy with that. What I got. And I thought, well, just see what happens. And I waited, and there was 2 drivers in Canterbury, long wheelbase and a short wheelbase. So I thought, right, I can quote highish to get a job if one comes up. And I waited, and I waited. Jobs were coming up 20, 30 miles away. I waited about an hour and a half. Yeah, about an hour and a half, I suppose. I went out something to eat. Actually, I went out something to eat in Morrison's. I thought, yeah, I'm going to just chill. And then a job popped up from Canterbury to Newbury. And at the same time, a job popped up from Broadstairs to Bedford. Now, the one in Canterbury, I was a mile away. The one in Broadstairs was 30 mile away. But it got me to Bedford, which is near home. Newbury's not too far, though, so I quoted on both. And I phoned this Broadstairs one up after I quoted to see if I was in the ballpark. And I thought, if I could get there, if I go now, I could get there within the time I want. And she said, oh, my partner's dealing with that. He's on the phone. I said, well, I put a bid in, but, you'd have to let me know as quick as, really. It's just because I said I need to be across there. She says, oh, yeah, I'm sure. She says, but if it goes and it's all right, I'll get him to ring you. I said, okay. And the other one I put a bid in for, I do a bit of work for this company, quite a bit of work. And it was from Chelmsford Hospital to Newbury. And he phoned me on the job to Newbury. He says, I bet you got a job, haven't you? He said, because I tried to phone you on the phone. He said, I bet you got a job, Dave. I says, I don't know whether I have or not, to be honest. I said, but I tell you what, you're offering me the work. I'm going to do your job. I says, if that's okay, if you're right. He said, brilliant. Absolutely. I said, because I'm only a mile away. I said, I could be there in 5 minutes. He went, I really appreciate that. I said, I'll let you know. Newbury's fine. And the other job never phoned through anyway. And it was on there for ages. They put it back. I watched it when I was at the hospital. But I thought, they reposted it. So obviously they wanted something cheaper than what I'd give them. But there weren't no drivers around there. So I don't know how they were going to get rid of it. But I was happy. I got what I wanted. So I got 90 quid to go to Newbury. Good money. And so we popped off to Newbury. And I thought, lovely. And I got there, I can't think what time I got there. It's about 2:30. Something like 2:30. May have been 3 o'clock-ish. I can't remember. But, so I got my money for the day. I got good money for the day. I got 270 quid. That's after paying a 15 quid congestion. So 285 total, but take 50. So mega day. And I'm in Newbury. I'm 80 miles from home though. But do I get a job Newbury, go somewhere here, there, or whatever? What do I do? But I thought, no, I want to get home really. I really want to get home that night. And I thought, I'm going to try and look the A34 because there was a lot of drivers around Newbury and Reading and around there. I thought, I'm going to try and look the A34 and I'll pull over at Oxford and see if there's a little job out of Oxford, Bicester to, a 20-30 quid job. And I'd got really good money going down. And I thought to myself, I'm still on mega money. I was on about £1 a mile by then. So I thought I can afford to drive home even. I worked out I could drive home empty and I'd still be on 80 pence a mile for the day. So I thought, I'll drive up to Oxford and then I'll just, little stop for 20 minutes, go and have a little walk around and whatever on the A34. Well, I didn't. I stopped at Bicester, services, between Bicester on the M40. Can't remember what service is called. Cheveley? No, Cheveley's further down. I don't know. But anyway. And I didn't stop for long. I stopped for 15 minutes, went to the toilet, got a coffee, come back, and I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to drive home. So I did, drove home. And I was home, I was fine. I was home by 5 o'clock, 4:45. I did 11 and a half hours, 270 quid, 80p a mile. Mega day. Best day of the week by far. And then also, when I got home, I literally got on the drive again. A job popped up, Northampton, but it said backload. Northampton, deliver the next day, Wednesday, to Tamworth and Ellesmere Port. And I didn't see the backload, and I put a price in. Put a competitive price in. Thought, well, I'm only 4 miles from Moulton Park, and I thought I can go and get it. But then I see the backload, so I cancelled my quote. I thought, it's pointless putting a quote. And my phone went, and it was the company. And he says, have you just got another job? He said, I've just seen you cancelled your quote. I went, no. I said, but it's got backload. I said, I haven't charged a backload rate. I said, I've charged the rate I would do it for. I says, it ain't a backload rate to me because it's delivered tomorrow morning, first thing. And he went, no. He said, 120 is fine. And I went, all right. I said, okay, that's brilliant. I said, yeah, I'll do it. If you want to send it over, I'll do it. So that's it. So Tuesday I did 340 miles. I did 15 quid congestion. My total money was 285, so it was 270. And my mileage was 79 pence. Almost at 80p, I'll round it down. So, great day. So, Wednesday. I didn't start that early because Tamworth was I got 2 printers to deliver. Computer printers. Went to Tamworth, I got addresses. And they were like, I thought they were residential addresses because they, it was what it was. In Tamworth, it was a residential address. But it weren't, it was a dentist. It was in the middle of the town centre. And because in town centre, there's not a lot of numbers. And I'm looking, where's 21 Church Street? And it was a dentist, Tamworth. I'm like, oh, it's a dentist. But there was no one there. I got there, and they would open at 8:30. It was 8:05. And I thought, oh. But I was parked outside, and someone come in 5 minutes. I said, I didn't even know it was for a dentist. I said, because, And anyway, they said, oh, yeah, it's a printer. And then I looked at the second one in Ellesmere Port, and that was a dentist. So by the time I got to Ellesmere Port, it was getting on, because getting out of Tamworth, getting up the M6, traffic. Yeah, I got to Ellesmere Port, and I delivered it to the dentist, no problem, and I went and parked up. Again, Morrison's was just up the road. Morrison's is my favourite out of all the supermarkets. I think the sandwiches are better for the meal deal. The fuel is always UK fuels, and it's sometimes cheaper than Morrison's fuel than UK, but I just like sitting out of the way. So I'm looking for a job then. I'm looking for a job somewhere south, somewhere to come home, and anything my way. I thought, but even if someone come north, I'd perhaps have a look at it. And a job come to Scotland, to Glasgow. Neptune country, as I call it. Neil at Neptune country. I thought, right, what do I quote? I quoted 75p all in. I'd got to go 15 miles to it, and it was 200 miles, and I thought, I'll quote 75p a mile, every mile. And it worked out about 85p with my getting, if I'd have just done it for the mileage loaded, and never got it. And do you know what? I almost cancelled it. I'm glad I didn't get it. And I think if he'd have phoned, I would have probably said, no, I've got someone else. Because I thought, do I want to go? I went to Glasgow, and I hope I'm going to get some at South Thursday, because I wanted to be home early Friday or early-ish. So it went. I didn't get it. It said unsuccessful. And when you go, thank God for that. But I did get a job out of Northwich. Not too shabby. Okay, I'd already quoted on this job as well. I'd quoted on this one and on the Glasgow one. I'd quoted on 3 or 4. Didn't get them. But I got this one. And it was pick up in Northwich. In fact, it weren't. It was a village. But it was near Northwich. Go to Ashby de la Zouch. Give it to a gentleman. He's going to get it signed. Paper's signed. He'll give him straight back to Nottingham. Nottingham's a good area. It's always been a pretty good area for me. I've always done pretty well in Nottingham. And I quoted 79 quid for 106 mile, something like that. It was about 75p a mile. Didn't add the drop as I did it, just kept it as that and got it. And it was easy, nice and easy. Difficult to find. It was a farm. It was a solicitor who lived on a farm near Northwich. And then I took it, and it was some people who were moving house. So they've got to get it signed over to Nottingham, to the solicitors in Nottingham, and then they could move. So they were anxious that it got done. So what I did, picked it up, he signed it, really nice man, lovely house, everything's all packed in boxes, ready to move. I said, as soon as I get to Nottingham, I said it's going straight away there. Well, what he didn't know was I got it straight to Nottingham. I knew where it was, and dropped it in, and the solicitor handed it over to the lady who took it to the solicitor. So I phoned the gentleman, the customer, not the shipper, the customer, says, it's Dave, courier driver, who's just picked up your thing, just to put your mind at rest. The solicitor's just got it. I said, it's straight there. I said, and she's got it, so hopefully you won't be kept waiting. He was over the moon. It's stressful. Moving house. He was stressed. His wife was stressed because it had been done late, and apparently the solicitors hadn't done it as early as they should have. But at least he knew that it had been delivered. So little things like that, even if he phones the company I was working for, he says, your driver was great. Perhaps they'll use me again. I don't know. But anyway, I'm thinking then, well, Nottingham, I'm home. I'm 60 odd mile from home. I'm going to go home tonight as well. This is on the Wednesday. And a job popped up. I hadn't even left where I was, the solicitors. I was safe parked. I was going to trundle to a Donington Park Services, have a little sit there and see, but I would have probably carried on. A job popped up, Nottingham to Leicester. From Nottingham, the county courts, Nottingham, going to a residential address. It was to a judge's address in Leicester. And I'm going that way anyway. And I thought, I'll put 30 quid and see. I thought, it ain't going to cost me anything. I thought, I ain't going down to 25. 30 quid, and I'll see. And phone went 30 seconds. And I've worked for the company before. He says, oh, David, he says, you do that little job for me? He says, you know where you pick it up? Yeah, magistrate's court, you pick it up. It's paperwork for a judge. It's his papers. I went, yeah, no problem. And I was literally 2 miles away. So when I picked them up, and yep, lady comes out, all good. You have to go through security, name, company, blah blah, and then off went to Leicester, and I trundled down to Leicester, 30 quid job. So it's a little Brucey bonus, really. That is it. And Leicester, I was literally 26 miles from home, something like that, and I went the back way through the back way, Market Harbour way, and yeah, cuts across country, and really nice back roads. You sometimes get sick of motorway, and that was that done. So I did 360 mile that day. I did nearly 12 hours altogether. The whole lot was just under 12 hours. 8 hours driving, 229 quid. So it came out at 64 pence a mile all in, and that was me dead miles home. So that's good enough. That'll do me. Really good day. My target's 200 a day. I'd not expected to hit my target, to be honest, of £1,000 a week. But did 229, so yeah, it's alright. Happy with that. I haven't got nothing booked in for Thursday. I thought to myself, well, let's see how we get on with Thursday, what we're going to do, where we're going. And I got a job, not that early actually. Didn't start 9:30. The job was picking up 10 o'clock, and it was Northampton to Slough. I weren't far from it. I was quite close to it. It was one drop Slough, one box. I thought, yeah, that's easy enough. So I'll quote that, and I quoted £50 on it. In fact, I didn't. I quoted 49. It comes out on my calculations. I thought Slough's normally a good area, but the problem is there's a lot of stuff goes to Slough around that area, around the airport, Heathrow, and there's a lot of drivers. So yeah, I was a little bit sceptical, but yeah, we did the job anyway. Took the job on Slough, and then I got to Slough and yeah, waited for about. There was jobs, but not for the price I was putting in, obviously. But I think I was quoted on about 6, and nothing happened. Then one come up, and I was parked in Sainsbury's car park in Slough, right in the centre. And I went from a job there to from Woking, which was a little bit away, and it was going to Milton Keynes, which appealed to me because if I don't get nothing or get a little job, it was going to be a rubbish day. I'd started late. So I quoted on it, and it's a shipper I've worked for before. He's a really nice bloke. I won't mention his name because he hasn't said about, it's okay to. But yeah, we did a job. I had a cancelled job before. I did so much into this job where I got cancelled before, and cancellation fee was £25, and he went and he gave me it was £20 I quoted cancellation fee, and he gave me 40 quid because he said you've been pissed about. He says, I'm being messed about by the customer. He says, and they're going to have to pay. He says, we've done loads of work, and also they cancelled at the last minute. So, yeah, really nice bloke. And he mentioned that when I phoned. He says, do you fancy doing that? I went, oh, hello, mate. I says, how are you? And I says, no, not really. And he said, well, this is a job, he says, from work. He says, straightforward to Milton Keynes. And it was picking up from McLaren, Formula One. Really, beautiful cars in there. Oh, beautiful. All good. 2 little items going to Milton Keynes to another racing team, really big racing team, and that was easy. But traffic was heavy, quite heavy. Motorways again heavy. Got to Milton Keynes, thought to myself, right, nothing's happened here. I was 16 miles from home, and I sat at Milton Keynes. I sat outside the traffic. I just sat there. Job popped up, and you know what I thought? You know what? I'm knocking it on the head. I've had a £100 day, but I only start at 9:30 and I'll be home at 3. And I didn't want to do something long distance. Then you're too near home. When you're near home, I get this thing. If I'm near home, I'm going home. Sorry, I've had a couple of good days before. I can afford to do it. So I was home by 3, 3:10, is right? 3:15. Done. So I only did 165 miles, 98 quid. Because I've got 2 jobs, both the same, 49 quid each. It worked out just under 60p, which is not brilliant, but it was an easy day. Got home, did a bit of paperwork. Should have probably done the video for Monday to Wednesday, but no, I was just chilling out. So that was that. Friday, I got a job. I picked a job up Thursday when I was in Milton Keynes for Friday morning. It was an easy job. It was out of a solicitor's in Northampton. It was a Northampton company. 3 drops. Milton Keynes, Rainham, Basildon. Yeah. For Friday. So I got my Friday morning sorted already. So, and it was a 9 o'clock pickup out of Northampton. So it was nice. So that's why I thought Thursday, solid, I'm going home. So I've got to be home anyway. And I'm 15 miles away. Whatever I get now, I'm going to end up further away probably. So, yeah, just trundle home. So Friday, picked this job up 9 o'clock. It was printers to 1 office, their other office in Milton Keynes, and 2 residentials, people working from home, having new printers. Easy enough. And got there 5 to 9. Easy. Picked them up, 3 drops, 2 items for the 2 residentials, printer and some equipment in a bag. and one item for their office in Milton Keynes, right in the centre of Milton Keynes. And you know what? It's better going after 9 because everyone's already there. And I got there. I thought, I'm just going to trundle down there. Park right outside, lovely. Right in the centre of Milton Keynes. Didn't even go up the 7th floor. The lady on the reception said, yeah, I'll take that for him. Signed it all up. And then I had Raynham, which is M1, M25, just off there. In fact, it took me down the M11 and then down to Raynham that way. And it was right where, not far from Dagenham, but it was right where all the industry was. And there's houses, two lots of houses, streets. But it was just industry all around it. I thought, I could never live here. I mean, big, heavy steel and containers. And yeah, seemed happy enough. So I dropped that one off and then dropped the other one in Basildon, across the 25. And yeah, good. Nice money. Got 90 quid for that. So I was happy with that because I thought Friday, I just want some at home now. Something that get me closer to home and I'm done for the week. You know, if I can get a 60, 70 quid job somewhere near home, I'll call it. Anyway, I sat in Basildon. I was in Tesco using, I thought I'd quoted on 4 jobs. And I put my phone in my pocket. I got my earpiece in. I thought I need to do a bit of shopping for myself, a meal deal, and I'd like to get some snack bars for the van and some polos and stuff. Just fill the van back up. And I was in the shops, phone in pocket. Phone went, hello mate, you quoted on a job for us. He says, you're only 3 miles away from it. This pickup's 1 o'clock, and this was at 12. I went, yeah, no worries, mate. I says, I'm in Tesco. I told him I was in Tesco's to do a bit of shopping. As soon as I've done my shopping, I'll be back in the van. I'm on it. He says, yeah, it's pick up before 1. He says, it'll be ready about 1. It's just printers, he says, yep. So I did. And then the penny sort of dropped. The only job I quoted close was the one I was going to cancel, which was to Croydon, which was South London. I thought, but I didn't cancel it, did I? And I didn't even look at my phone. I accepted it. Looked at my phone, sure enough, Basildon to Croydon. I thought, well, I got £1, over £1 a mile. It was 42 miles all in. I quoted 45. Schoolboy error. South London. I thought, well, it's too late now. Going over the Dartford as well. Lose me 3 quid, so it's £1 a mile. I picked up, smack on 1 o'clock. I was there just for 1. It was ready at 1. It was 1 box of printing for a little brewery, a micro brewery in Croydon. So that appealed to me. But I cancelled the other jobs I didn't get anyway. So the 4 jobs I cancelled, this was the one I got. But it's a big error. It was a big error. It's one I'm not going to make. I keep saying I'm not going to make. But I do. I make. It was a trundle in. It ain't too bad getting in. Traffic was moving pretty much. It still took me best part of 2 hours for that job, which is fine because I was on 45 quid, so it's about £22.50, 23 quid an hour. I'm now in Croydon. There is nothing. The only thing out of Croydon is stuff going south. There was stuff going to Southampton. I'm on Friday. I want to get home. I've arranged we're going to have fish and chips take to my aunt. She was now home. She went home Tuesday. And we're going to take fish and chips round hers. My wife's off. She was off that day. She was going to get the chips. I thought, I'm buggered here. I've got to get home. I put it on the sat nav. I've got 2. One that does the shortest route, as in shortest mileage, and one that does the Google one does the quickest route, as in time. Well, I've got 80 miles to do on the one on my sat nav. The Google one, it's going to send me west, down to Heathrow and around the 25 and up the M1. It was 115 miles, so it was 25 miles further, but according to Google, it was going to take me 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I'm like, really? I thought, I can't do that dead mileage, so I'm going to go the other one, 80 odd miles, looked at it, it missed the congestion zone, it went up Tooting, up the, over Battersea Bridge, I think it's Battersea, but it went to the left of the congestion zone. I thought, yeah, I'm going to take that one. So I left the Google and that recalculate, kept telling me to go west. And I wouldn't. I said, no, sod it, I'll go the shortest, it might take me a bit longer. Yeah, it did. I left at 3:25. And I got to my aunties in Northampton 3 hours later. Wow. Dead mileage, 80 miles. Time, 3 hours. But hey, visiting my auntie, see the look on her face when she see me. My chips were in the oven because they'd already eaten theirs at 6 o'clock. I got there at 6:25. But it was just a joy to see her. So, I thought, yeah, I've done 80 miles and it's been a pain in the arse. London, went past Westfield, White City. It took me all up, but oh, Jesus. But Auntie was happy to see me. I was happy to see her. And I thought, and also, tragic news that Shane Warne had just left Croydon, and then we heard that Shane Warne had passed away unexpectedly, a heart attack. Some things, you think, it ain't that bad, is it? It ain't that bad. Look at, that poor sucker, he's bloody... I was a really good cricket fan. I played cricket, not to a high level, but I played cricket, used to be a batsman, opening batsman, and I was captain of the team I played for. And watching Shane Warne then, I mean, everyone became a leg spinner. Bloody useless. Everyone tried it, but you couldn't do it. But to listen to the tributes of that all the way through London, sort of, it put you in a sombre mood, really, but it just made you think, what, traffic. It just stopped me shouting at traffic, to be honest. I just thought, oh, sod it. Just get home. So we did. We got home, got to my auntie. So that day, I did 135 quid. So it wasn't brilliant. Mileage was shocking, absolutely shocking. I was down to 55 pence on that day, which is rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But worse things are happening at sea. Especially what's going on in the Ukraine. Don't get me on that. Yeah, best not to get me on that. But, I've watched a few videos, you guys. Tall man, small van. Really great video, mate. Yeah, it is. It's just it's just mad. I've watched Neil's video. I watch Andy P. I've picked him up now. He does good videos. All small van guys, yeah. We've got a little group going. It's great. Obviously, can't think about the name in Lincolnshire. Got a short wheelbase for Vero. Sorry, Matt, I just can't get your name. Comes from Lincolnshire. Got a motorbike as well. In fact, I'm out on mine this afternoon if it stops raining. But hey, that was the week. 246 miles I did. And I did 9.5 hour day for 135 quid, so it's shocking. And the journey home was a shocker, but I'm over it. I'll live with it. So my total for the week, didn't do as many miles this week, did 1,354. I did 46 hours duty, which is probably a little bit less than what I normally do. I did 31 hours driving. I did 848 quid gross. Worked out my mileage per pence per mile was 63 pence per mile. And that works out at about 170 quid a day. So my target is 200 a day in the summer and in the good months. I said I reduced my target to sort of 180. So it's 900 and I was 52 quid short. So it ain't too bad. Week was done. I had 2 really long days, Tuesday and Wednesday. I had 3 days that weren't that brilliant, but that's what it is. Coming on to the fuel. Fuel prices for next week. I don't normally do this, but I get my fuel prices by week to week, and they give me them on Friday. Wow. Anyone who's got a fuel card, you'll know what I'm going to say now. My fuel prices for UK fuels was 124 plus VAT last week. This week, 134. 10 pence a litre. Put VAT on the top, and you've gone up by 12 pence a litre. So that was my UK fuels card and my UK BP fuel card, which sometimes runs a bit cheaper, but they both put them up to the same price, 134. The BP UK fuels one went up to 137 plus VAT, which works out at 164. Fuck me, what? But my BP one, which I very rarely use, I use it when I'm at. Before I had the UK BP one, it's gone up to 131. So whereas it used to be 3 or 4 pence dearer, it is now 4p cheaper. So I'll be using the BP one at 157. But the BP is the nearest one to me, down the road, this way. At the moment, he's charging 169. So I'm still getting 12p savings per litre. But Jesus Christ. 157. What I do now, I've got jerry cans. I did it. Because my UK fuel was 149. I paid was my price last week. It's now 157 this week. So I've got up 8 pence. But on Sunday, my van needed filling up, my Citroen, yesterday. So I've got 2 20-litre jerry cans and I've got 3 fuel cans, small ones, 5-litre ones. So I filled them up. And I did the week before as well, on the Sunday, before the fuel, because I did get a warning, give them the do, they give me a warning saying it's going to go up, fill your van up by Sunday, because that's when your tariff changes. So, fuel, everyone's going to say the same, what the is going on? I don't know. But hey, pass it on. We're going to have to pass it on. Guys, if there's any drivers out there and you're charging 40p, 50p, a mile, then you're going to go bust even quicker than what you was. So keep the prices high. Shippers are going to have to pay and they're going to have to pass it on. Everything's gone up apart from our money, our pence per mile. It has. It just has. I'm going to have a rant now. Yeah, it just winds me up. It winds me up when guys are charging backload rates of pittance. Yeah, if the odd time, if you get into your doorstep, drop it to 60, 55p, 60p. If it's going to get you home to your doorstep, don't just, in the afternoon, go back to, it's just madness. I quoted on a job when I was, funny enough, Friday when I was in Croydon, there was a job. And it was I was 8 miles from it, going to Northampton. And I thought, do you know what, if I can get that, I'll get that. And I thought, if I do it at 55 pence, that's as low as I want to go, because it's London. But I'm going home, and I've only got to go out my way 10 miles, 15 miles. And I phoned up. I weren't even in the running. She was getting, yeah. And she weren't lying to me. She said, mate, he said, I've got 40 pence is here. I went, what? She went, I know. She says, I haven't, it's going, she said, I've got 2 at 40p. She says, and I've got some at 45p. And I went, no, I says, I ain't matching that. She says, I'm not lying to you. She says, that's fair. I said, no. And she did. She sold them. Wow, rant over. Rant over. Hey, we're still here. What's going on over in Ukraine? I mean, Jesus Christ, compared to me ranting about a fuel price. You watch it on TV, can't quite believe what you're seeing, really. If it keeps escalating, yes, it's in the shit anyway. This is going on for many a year, because if he takes Ukraine, if they don't, NATO won't go in because it's not a NATO country. But if he goes any further, then they're obliged to. But not only that, Russia will be crippled now for years because the sanctions have come down to cripple that country. He don't give a shit. He don't give a shit. He's all right, but it's something's going to happen soon. Don't know what. Scary. Yeah, quite scary. But hey, we still got to make money. We still got to get out there. I'm doing a 4-day week next week. Another sad thing. God, this is a bit morbid today. I've got a funeral tomorrow. A really good friend, a biker friend. That's why I'm going out on the bike later to give it a run, because there's a few of us going to follow the hearse with our bikes. Yeah, lovely man. Passed away January actually, and his funeral's Monday. So I booked Monday off, but I'd also got the van booked in. It's having a diagnostics check at Citroen at 8:30 because there's a engine warning light on it. It's a sensor, because my mate Darren, who does it, he says it's a sensor. He's put it on his diagnostics, and it's to do with the AdBlue. It's a sensor about frequency or pressure, and it says get it checked over, get it sorted at your garage. Darren says it's using AdBlue as normal, exactly the same. It's running perfect, but the bloody warning light doesn't went in. So I'm getting it diagnostically checked. There's a good chance it's under warranty, so whatever work they do, apart from me paying a ridiculous amount of money for a diagnostics check, it should be covered. If not, and they want to charge me an absorbent amount of money for that, it won't get done. I should just run it because there's nothing wrong with it. So, but yeah, so tomorrow's a pretty sad day. So I'll get the van back tomorrow afternoon. They give me a courtesy car. So I've got a courtesy car. After the funeral, I'll go back over. It's in Kettering. Yeah, Kettering. So I'll go back over and pick the van up. Then we'll see where we go from there. So 4-day week next week. So hopefully work. I think the work is picking up. There is more work out there. I think a lot of guys are saying that there's a bit more work out there. But don't drop your fuel price. Don't drop your price. Keep your prices because the shippers are sure to be charging customers a little bit more. I just think, yeah. And also make sure to keep out of London because it's great money going down or it's good money going down, but getting out of London is becoming a bind. Right, I've waffled on for 40 minutes. I've got nearly 340 subscribers. I thank you all. Try to answer all your questions. If you've got any questions, I'll try and answer them. But hope you have a good week next week. Cheers.